Hassan told me he increased his traffic by 7,000% in 6 months through his approach to technical SEO. Now, obviously, I'm interested in learning how he does that, and I'm sure you are too. So, welcome to the Ad World Virtual Stage 2021. This is Hassan.
Hello and welcome to this presentation. My name is Hassan Aanbar. I'm the Chief Strategist over at brightleadsmedia.com. We're a specialized SEO agency. We also do a little bit of development. And today I'm pretty excited to tell you about a story, a quick success story that's also still in the making. Actually, it's not over yet. And I'm also going to tell you exactly what we did and show you one of the strategies and the tools that we use to make things like this happen. You know, the title here is Content Plus Technical SEO, how we grew traffic by 60 to 100% in 12 months without building links. All right, let's get started. So we took a website that was dying from receiving, about 500 organic visits per month to receiving more than 10,000. And that's over a period of 12 months. We signed an NDA. We can't really share the URL with you, but I promise you this is like real. We do this all the time. It's just one of many, many, many stories that we see every day over our agency. So we worked and are still working hard to grow this website to more than tens of thousands of visitors per month and not just be stuck at 10,000 or 12,000 visits per month. The only thing I can say really about the industry is that it's operating in the B2B events industry, kind of an industry that we thought would die out with the current crisis, but to our surprise, we saw that it was thriving, and it's just not, doing badly. So it's just good. It's a great surprise to see that this thing was not, affected badly. It was affected positively in a good way, and it's growing. It keeps growing and growing. So that's good. All right. So just to show you a few numbers here, we have from November 2019 to November 2020. So we took the 30 days of November 2020, compared them to November 2019. So average daily visitors for November 2019 about 75 visitors per day. That jumped to over 1,300 visits in about a year later. And in March 2021, those numbers actually jumped up to 2,000 daily visits. And it's still growing. It's still growing. Up to this date, it's going really, really well. And, the question here is, how did our team achieve these results? All right, so I like to simplify things, and I'm going to simplify it as much as possible. So I'm going to, divide it into about 4 sections. So the first one, we ran an SEO audit. After that, we worked on a content audit, which is something that you might not have heard before. And then we worked on a content research strategy, and that's what we scaled all the efforts. And then, we're going to talk about links. Maybe yes, maybe no, but we'll see. All right, so it all starts with a deep SEO audit. We like Ahrefs, but you can always use other tools like SEMrush or Screaming Frog. Those tools usually give you a lot more details. But between the 3 of them, I just like Ahrefs because it's combined with a lot of other tools. So we just stay in one place to get all the data that we need on the websites that we're working on competitors' websites. But the audit feature is really worth paying a lot of money for, honestly, because it helps us a lot. The audit helps us identify 2 major things: technical issues and on-page optimization issues. Technical issues usually encompasses a lot of aspects of the website. We'll look at each one with detail. Here, I separated the on-page optimization because it's completely different, and the way you work on it is a little bit different than technical issues. All right, so Ahrefs usually gives you a health score, and that health score has to do with how well your website is visible on the search engines, how the Google gods, how the robots, how the bots kind of see it, if there's any errors, the audit, the SEO audit, kind of gives you all the technical issues, all the things that you need to fix right away. So your website will get a healthier score. We always aim to get it to the 90s, 90, 95, even 100 if we can. And that means 100 would mean that 100% of the pages on your website are visible to the search engines without any issues. And as you can see on the screen, we have 404 pages. We have pages with broken links. We have missing reciprocal hreflang issues, 500 error issues. Those 500 means that, the page is either down completely and not just a 404 page, and it's either missing completely from the server and there's an issue with it. So you have to go in and fix that. It actually even gives you issues as deep as like /URL, duplicate pages without canonical. And I'll go into a little bit of detail about how canonical kind of helps. hreflang to non-canonical. If you don't understand this, if this sounds like Chinese to you, you might want to work with a developer. And that's what we do over at our agency. We have a solid team of developers. If at any moment we get, stuck, the developers come to help fix any of these issues. And they're not really that hard to fix, to be honest. All right. And what I've been showing you here is an example of a website, a real website that we have that has added a lot more pages. They had maybe about 50 pages, and they worked on adding a lot of content. So they added thousands of pages. So now it's showing us the score went down from about 100 to 63, because then again, that a lot of issues with the new pages that we have to go in and fix. It's not really fun, but it's fun when you start seeing the results of this work. All right, the major technical aspects to diagnose are hreflang, canonical tags, HTTP versus HTTP redirects, and redirects in general on the website. They cause a lot of issues, not just SEO related, but also for speed and performance. Speed, it's extremely important. You know that by now. There's an update coming up by May of 2021, which is very, very important. Google might you might give them a reason to slap your website and get you off the SERPs completely. Probably. I mean, I'm not really sure, but then it might happen. It means that you have to work on improving the performance of your website. You have to have it to load under 2 seconds, under 1 second. It depends. The higher the score in the Google Page Speed Insights and Pingdom and all the speed performance steps, you have to work on it. And I'm not gonna dig deeper into this, because that's something that you have to kind of figure out that with the help of a developer or something like that. Indexability is also something that's important, because again, we've seen some issues with other websites where if you can't index a page, that means there's an issue with it and it can't be shown. That means what's the point of having that page up if it can't be indexed? So you have to fix that issue so it can get easily indexed by other search engines, not just Google. Being indexed means that you're showing up on the index of the Google page or the search engines. That means you're giving it a chance so it can show up among other competitors who are trying to rank for those same keywords that you're trying to rank for. So on-page optimization, as I said, I separated it because it's a completely different aspect of the whole work. It's part of the technical audit, but we need to talk about it separately because of how important it is. It's title tags, meta descriptions, keywords used inside the content. And this is where technical meets content, That's how you can tell a good SEO from a bad one. Because again, you can give all of these issues to any developer and they can just go in and fix them without any, worrying about them. But when you give a developer, asking them to, add things about content and keywords, that's what it gets a little bit more into the content side. They need to know which keywords are worth optimizing for and which ones are not. And that's when the SEO person and the search engine optimizer, the expert, the novice or the specialist, they have to come in and do their work. They have to go in and identify which ones they're what words they're gonna put in the meta description, how the title is gonna show up, how it's gonna be written, how are you gonna put those keywords inside the content, So that's why it's a completely separate aspect of the work, because you don't want to just put any random words. if you're trying to rank for specific keywords. You have to know what to put here and there. And again, fixing these is really not that hard to do. It's actually pretty simple. For WordPress, we use these like simple plugins like Rank Math. That's for WordPress. For Shopify, there's an app called SEO Manager. It's paid. It's not free. For BigCommerce, it's built in. But for any other platforms, we usually always try to use developers. And we just go in and hire somebody and tell them exactly what needs to be done. We create a spreadsheet and put in like, here's what needs to be put in the title for this URL. It was needs to be put in the meta description. So they go in into page by page and update it manually. It makes our lives easier for Shopify or WooCommerce and any other e-commerce platforms. But for other platforms, you have to hire somebody who's knows how to handle code without making any big mistakes. The thing with that is the bulk of the work is not just like being able to make the changes, but being able to identify these words that you need to rank for. Okay, so if you have a page about a specific service that you're selling, maybe you're in a SaaS, you're and you're selling maybe email marketing software, and you want to rank for for a competitor keyword, maybe like you're probably selling email marketing services. You have a keyword like active campaign versus ConvertKit, and you want to write a blog post on your blog and you want to rank for that specific keyword. So you're going to have to be a little bit creative in how you're going to write the title, how you're going to write the meta description. I've talked previously in other talks and other speeches about how you can not manipulate, but how you can creatively write these meta descriptions just like you're writing an ad for Google ads or Facebook ads. So you have to write them in a way where you entice people and you ask them, you pull them in so they can click. So they have to be written in a way that, you have to use copywriting kind of basics to you can bring in people to click on that. So it can't be just written like that, random keywords. They have to be put with the intention that you want the people to click on them. And that goes for the title and for the meta description. All right, so moving on to the content audit. This is where things get interesting. Let's say you have a website with about 5,000 pages. It has a low health score in Ahrefs. And from your analytics, you're getting organic traffic only to a few of the pages. I mean, the idea here is that the 80-20 rule doesn't even apply. It's more like a 95-5 rule. Like only 5% of the pages are pulling on the weight for the rest of the website. The first thing you want to do, if you have 5,000 pages, you're only getting traffic for the very few. Most of the issues, in this case, always lie with the technical issues. So that's the first thing you do. Just go in and fix all the technical crap that we looked at. 404 pages, 500 pages, like canonical. Canonical, that means like fixing duplicate pages, speed issues, redirects. When you do that, it takes you about a week or two, maybe. Depends on how big the website is. But the faster you fix this, the faster you'll start seeing results. And I put here, we guarantee, because it's true. We do guarantee that you'll see an instant increase in organic traffic as soon as you're done with these fixes. And I'm going to tell you, it's amazing when you do this. And we've seen it countless times. We take a website, whatever website, we just work on the technical stuff and we see these amazing results. The next part involving going through the keywords the website is ranking for and which pages are bringing traffic. The screenshot here is from like our website, brightleadsmedia.com. And like I've had a few blog pages up and they've been ranking and getting a few traffic. The reason you're seeing this is because I just wanted to show you how it looks like. And this is from the Ahrefs site. So you go to Site Explorer and you pull up any website. It's yours or competitors, and it just tells you what Ahrefs is seeing, what Google is seeing. Like you're ranking on position 1 for this keyword, you're ranking on position 15 for this keyword, and this is how much traffic we estimate that you're getting. So it's pretty interesting, just to go through these lists, especially on Ahrefs. You can do the same on the CMrush or Moz or any other tools that kind of like do a little bit of a deep kind of analysis on your existing traffic. They're usually just estimates, and most of the time they're not accurate to 100%, but still, the idea here is that you are gonna get um, a lot of data on your own site and on your competitors' websites. So you take this information and you compare it with what you already have. So if we're talking about your own website, you're gonna have to look at Google Search Console. And Google Search Console is something that you have to link to your website. This is not analytics, it's related to analytics, but it's specifically just for Google. And the data that they give you is very, very detailed about what keywords you're ranking for, how many impressions you're getting, not just clicks, for any random keywords that you're already ranking for. But again, this is just for Google, not for like Bing or anything, because it's the webmaster tools, the old version of the webmaster tools. But it's absolutely necessary that you link it and verify it, because it can give you a treasure trove of data about your own website. We have Ahrefs, we have SEMrush, analytics. So we take a look at all these tools. Let's say we don't have SEMrush. We're just gonna get data from Ahrefs, get data from Google Search Console, and analytics. So we're gonna identify which pages are already getting traffic, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to benefit from the fact that these specific pages are getting traffic, and we're gonna start putting internal links to other pages of the website, so we can get that benefit that Google is already given to these specific pages. Internal links. So it's not just a sidebar or menu links or footer links or whatever. We're talking about like in content links that are relevant, just like the example you're looking at here, which is a Pinterest. And this is from the Wikipedia page. So you can see that Wikipedia is the best example out there for you to get inspired from when it comes to internal links, because Wikipedia is not just, it's so well done, the internal links, and that's one of the things that is giving it a lot of boost on Google SERPs, because it's getting a lot of traffic from Google. And one of the things they're doing really well is these internal links. So image sharing, they have a page dedicated to image sharing, so they're going to link to it. A social media service, they're going to link to that specific page. Pin boards, and you're definitely going to get a lot of links back to this page from other pages. It's going to be a huge web of links from the same website. So you're thinking of doing the same thing on your own website, like just links here and there. You just have to create this crazy web of links going in and out. And that's it. That you do this, it's going to help. That's the first thing. It's going to help your website get a boost of traffic. The other thing is content. Those other pages that you have that are not ranking, you're going to help them rank by fixing the technical issues. You're going to help them rank a little bit more by building internal links within your website. So these two things are going to help a lot. Here we're going to be talking about an extra step to do so you can get more of those pages to rank. So as we said, 5,000 pages, 5 out of 95. 5 out of 95 are 5% of the market in traffic. The rest are not. But with the fixes that we're working on, you can get that traffic up, and up. And we're talking technical issues, internal links, and now we're going to be talking about content optimization. So one of the advantages of working in SEO in 2021 is the availability of many tools to make our lives as SEO is a lot easier. So you have a few pages ranking either low on the first page of Google or even on the second and third pages. If these pages have been stuck there for a while, that means only one thing. They need to push. In a lot of ways, and a lot of times, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you just need backlinks so you can go up. From our experience with the team, I've noticed it's not always the links, the backlinks, the external links from other websites that are going to, help you get a little bit higher. This is not going to going to be the only thing that's needed for you to actually jump up from that 8th position or 9th position up to like the 1st or 2nd position, so you can get a lot more traffic, or jump from like 3rd page to 1st page. What you need is content optimization. So that's why I'm talking about this. I'm showing you this screen of Surfer SEO. It's a tool that I love so much, and here's what it helps. So Surfer SEO is one of many tools that do a good job of like identifying content optimization tool, like places where you can do a little bit of optimizations to your content so you can jump up in the SERPs. And when I say SERPs, I mean search engine results page. So that's what it means. It means the Google pages, basically. So, all right, it helps us identify and compare your competitors' content to yours. It gives you a holistic picture of what your competitors are doing. The job then becomes easy. It becomes easier for you and even easier for your writers. By doing this, we have seen pages jump from position 8 to position 2, and some pages jump from page 3 to page 1 with a much higher, a lot more traffic. So what you can see in the screenshot here is a content score. So when you start writing in Surfer SEO, or you can just give an already existing page to Surfer SEO. It just tells you how many words it's supposed to have, how many headings, H2s and H3, how many paragraphs, how many images, and even how many links, and it gives you a score. And that's what's amazing. If you get an 80 or a 90 out of 100 on this score, you're not guaranteeing, but you're pretty much guaranteeing like that you're gonna jump up in the SERPs, especially if you've been kind of trying to fight over that number 1 position or number 2 position for a long time. You've been stuck, or your website has been dancing, from like position 8 to position 9, position 10 to position 11, and Google doesn't exactly know what to do with your website. And to this, what it does is just makes it so easy for you to just go follow these steps, and you'll see that you're gonna be getting a lot of traffic, because again, this thing kind of analyzes what's already ranking, what's already doing well, and it's just telling you to do it. All right, so moving on to the kind of like third step, and that's the content research strategy. Here, we're talking about identifying more opportunities to rank for by creating more pages that will instantly get indexed and ranked by the Google gods. I say instantly indexed because you already have a website that's already ranking, already bringing traffic. You just want to get more pages and more traffic. Remember this. This is the rule that I kind of live by now. More pages equals more traffic. It might sound obvious because it is, but again, you don't want to just like have any random pages up, because if you have random pages, worthless, useless pages, they're not going to rank. They have to serve a purpose. They have to be useful. They have to be a resource to people, whether it be resource kind of pages, listicles, blog posts, FAQ page, I don't know, whatever it is that will make people stay on your website. You have to work on it and create more of those pages, and then you'll watch traffic grow. And yeah, that's basically it. Go back to Ahrefs. Go back to those lists of keywords. Identify related keywords, and you'll be able to see that there's just so much to identify, so much to work on. It's just insane. All right, so the last point is backlinks. So are backlinks important? We did bring or double, triple, sometimes 5x, traffic on so many websites without having to worry about backlinks. But that does not mean that we actually went out and built them purposefully. We didn't. All we did is just work on the content, work on the technical issues, work on the internal linking and all that good stuff, and then we saw traffic rise without even worrying about this. The only time when we actually went out and bought and not bought, like a skip, we don't actually buy backlinks, and it's good that I made that slip, because honestly, we don't buy backlinks. We actually build them. But when we do, we don't do it unless we have a solid foundation. We have already seen that Google loves our pages, and gets them indexed, gets them ranked. We're getting traffic, we're getting impressions, we're getting links, we're getting conversions, obviously. So the more of that we see, that's when we're like, okay, maybe Google loves this. We're just gonna have to need that more of a push, so we can push more of our pages, especially the pages that bring in the real conversions. Again, we only do it in specific, very, very specific niches, specific industries, and we're talking about CBD, insurance, real estate. Those are hyper competitive niches. These people have done the work for years and years, And that doesn't really mean that other kind of industries have to have the same way, have to operate the same way. You don't need 5,000 backlinks just to rank. You just need to work on your technical SEO, basically. And with the amount of traffic that's growing, especially from the organic side, you are going to see some, crazy numbers just by working on those things that I mentioned. All right. I mean, that brings me to the end of this presentation. I mean, I really hope this was useful. I'm going to kind of recap really quickly. Your website. The first thing to do, run an SEO audit. Run a content optimization audit, content audit, basically. And then work on adding more pages to your website. And then work on, internal linking. And you don't have to worry about backlinks at the beginning. You only have to worry about backlinks when it's time. And that's when you're exhausted all the options, all the opportunities. And hopefully this was useful. You can find me, as you can see here, this is my Twitter profile. This is my LinkedIn profile. So just by my name. If you have any questions, I'm available. Thank you.
Bye.